like to have that update.
Very good. All right, I'll call the meeting to order. October 25th meeting of the Oklahoma City Riverfront Redevelopment Authority. Item 2 is any updates from our committees. I think anybody has met for anything. Item 3 is the minutes. Do we have any changes or corrections to the minutes?
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Cast your vote. It passes unanimously. Item 4 is the consent docket. We have the oil and gas revenue report and the Oklahoma River corridor events update. Any questions on either one of those? Second. Yeah. Cast your vote. It passes unanimously. Item 5 is the primary agenda items. Item A is to receive the quarterly river cruisers update. Welcome.
Good afternoon, Mr. Chairman, Chairman Chief, and trustees. This season continues to show strong growth. There we go. Ridership in the third quarter was up significantly from prior years. Year-to-date ridership is up 28% over 2015 and 42% over 2014. Staff attributes this increase to an aggressive Facebook campaign, which has increased awareness of the service. And online searches, very often people coming into town or in town do an online search for things to do in Oklahoma City or looking for us, and they have found us, according to our surveys, at travelok.com, visitokc.com, TripAdvisor, Discover OK, and of course the Oklahoma River Cruises website. Other sources of recommendations that we receive through the year that we've seen on our surveys are Bass Pro Shop, the Boathouse District, and Water Taxi.
Jeannie, are you monitoring pretty carefully, like TripAdvisor as an example? Do you go in there regularly and look at our ratings and?
Yes, and look at comments.
Yeah, look at comments and things and respond if needed.
We sure do.
Yeah, great, thank you.
Sure do. Occasionally we get a comment that a particular feature isn't prominent, and it turns out it's on the water taxi route, and TripAdvisor is able to redirect that inquiry. So we keep a pretty close watch to make sure everything's pretty clear. And our ratings on TripAdvisor are very high. Very happy about it. Riders per service hour is a measure of the efficiency of the service. Our target for this year is 11 riders per service hour. We're currently averaging almost 13. We attribute that good result to the fair weather and the increased awareness of the ferry service. We also have to acknowledge the work of the Public Works Department to keep the dams and the locks operational and keep the river clear of debris, so we have very, very few interruptions of service. The HMS staff, our operator, spend a considerable amount of time visiting with the hoteliers and the Meridian corridor and in the Bricktown area to maintain awareness of what we're doing on the river and what we have to offer for their folks. The blue bar in this chart illustrates the continuous growth of the ferry service. The green bar fluctuates as we balance our budget against the number of specialty cruises and charters that we're able to offer within the dollars that are allocated for us. October is Haunt the River month for specialty cruises, and tickets for all 6 events have been sold out. I was watching today, we had a couple of people cancel, and then 5 minutes later they booked 2 that were on a waiting list. So it's been a very successful event and is going very well for us this year. Charter sales are up 20%. There is a possibility that we will reach our 215, we will well exceed 215 and possibly even reach that 2014 mark by the end of the year. Wanted to say a little more about Facebook because it's been so successful for us. Our followers on Facebook have increased 51% since a year ago this time. Advertisements on Facebook cost as little as under $100, and you can reach as many as 12,000 people. So once again, this is a great way to reach out to the community. 73% of our followers are women. Let's face it, these are the decision makers about where charters are going to be held, where events are going to take place. and 73% are between the ages of 25 and 54. Again, our target market. Well, that's not, okay. Destinations are a driving force in developing a viable transit operation. If you don't have a destination, you don't have transit. With the addition of the Wheeler District Ferris wheel and the recent dedication of the equestrian park, Oklahoma River Cruises has opportunities for the development of more landings. In the meantime, amenities like this help attract riders to the service, and we're very, very pleased to have those things to be able to speak to people about as they travel up the river. As I said, it was Haunt the River, most successful event we have. These tickets sold out way before October. We're very happy about this event, and I just wanted to share a happy little photo with you. And with that, I'll be happy to answer any questions.
Were you in that picture, Mark, somewhere?
Let's see. Are there any questions?
That's it?
That's it. That's all I got.
Any questions?
They need to get busy. I think we have room for, I think at last count it was about 15 charters that we still can book. November's a very, very slow month for charters, has been since we started. I have no idea why, but November's a good month also.
Yeah. Thank you. Motion to receive that report?
Second.
Cast your vote. It passes unanimously. Item B is to receive the unaudited interim financials for the period ending August 31st, 2016. Have any questions on that?
I'll move it. Second.
Cast your vote. It passes unanimously. Item C is to receive the Oklahoma City Community Foundation Charitable Organization Endowment Fund Report for the fiscal year ending June 30, 2016. I attended the event to pick up that packet and report and the copy of the check. The check interest got reinvested again this year, 38,000 something. Is that right, David? So we're right at 860, something like that. So we're closing in on it. Any questions on the endowment report? Motion to receive. Cast your vote. It passes unanimously. Item D is receive the report on proposal for installation by the Boathouse Foundation for modular buildings on the leasehold at Exchange Avenue Boathouse.
Mr. Chairman, I think Mike Knopp, he was going to battle it out with Don Douglas to see who made this report. Looks like Mike won.
If I know Douglas, that won't be much of a battle, I don't think.
Great to see everyone. Mike Knopp here with the Boathouse Foundation. We've been working with University of Oklahoma, as you know, for many years, and they've been leasing the Exchange Boathouse from the Oklahoma City Boathouse Foundation to conduct their women's rowing practices. And their program is quite large. You know, they bus up two bus loads of women every morning, and the facility itself out there, as many of you may know, is very, very primitive. It's just a storage building. And so OU has expressed a real desire to add amenities in that exchange complex to provide a more suitable environment for the athletes as they come to Oklahoma City every morning. So as you can see in the image, the area of the Exchange Boathouse is right adjacent to the maintenance facility, and there's already an existing fenced-in yard, and the fenced-in yard is what would where we're proposing to put these modular facilities, which would be essentially meeting rooms for the athletes each morning. If you want to. So again, here's another image of the location. The boathouse itself is about 4,000 square feet. Again, just a storage facility. and we've used porta potties and other modular, storage shipping containers to support some of the needs out there. They do, as you know, there's been a discussion over the years about a permanent boathouse facility for OU. That is not off the table, but that is down the road. So this is meant to be seen as an interim measure to accommodate their program. They have, again, a substantial investment in their program, including an on-campus facility in Norman, and just need a more proper facility on the river. So if you look at that area that we have proposed, the modular building, this would be a facility that's brought in. We wanted to match the surrounding facility, obviously all white, and then with a trailer restroom facility that would accompany the modular buildings. These facilities that you'd see, they'd be, again, nestled into that fenced-in area. You really wouldn't, I believe, see the facilities themselves other than what comes above the fence, which is why we're proposing that they match the surrounding fence line. The facilities themselves, there's actually two of them. One would be more for meetings during the practice times, like with the athletic trainer. Another one would be for their indoor rowing machines. So some of the athletes staying on the land will have a climate-controlled space to work out, or if the weather's bad, they have a place to go inside. Right now, there's no place to really get out of the elements or get warm. So, go ahead. This is kind of an example of a typical modular building that we're talking about that would be brought in and placed on a foundation. We would, of course, get a building permit. We're working through. There will be those have to go before the Scenic River Oversight Committee, of course, and we're addressing all of those matters, but we wanted to bring this before you so you could see what we do have in mind. And then this is a picture of the restroom trailer itself that will be placed there and provide the ladies some proper facilities so they're not using a porta potty, every morning. So university is very eager, to say the least, to get this done in a very timely manner. Again, this is not seen to be a permanent, solution, although it is meant to accommodate this program that they currently have in place that's very successful. They're just concerned about obviously the welfare of those athletes as they go out there every morning and having proper facilities to get out of the weather. So,
Mike, are they paying for this?
Yes, they are paying for this. So this will be a project of University of Oklahoma, yes.
Okay.
And it's coming through because the Boathouse Foundation has the lease and owns the facility out there. We will actually be the one that purchases it, but it will be paid for by OU.
Okay. And have they given you any kind of a timeline on a permanent boathouse, or?
There is no timeline at this point, other than it's certainly something that they would like to see in the future. I think there's still questions about exactly where they would like to see that boathouse be ultimately constructed. They're very satisfied with their training facility at Exchange because of the traffic issues down there, but they are committed in the future. They definitely want to see a permanent facility in the future, and this is, again, meant to be a kind of a short-term measure. So.
Any other questions for Mike? Need a motion to receive that report? Cast your vote. Passes. Thanks, Mike.
Thank you.
Hey, Mike, congratulations on being named an Oklahoma Treasure. I don't know if everybody saw that, but the Health Sciences Foundation, with their Treasures program, named Mike and Wes Welker. So congratulations.
Yes. My kids are calling me a treasure now.
Very well deserved. Yeah. As long as Tempe's calling you a treasure.
So thank you very much. It was humbling, so thank you.
Item E is a resolution recommending that the Oklahoma City Council designate the following dates as free fishing days in Oklahoma City, and there's one each month throughout 2017. This is something we've done in the past, isn't it, Doug?
Yes, sir, Mr. Chairman. Doug Cupper, Parks and Recreation. We started this, the Game and Fish Commission recommended this last year, and the River Trust supported this activity to the City Council, and they thought it was such a success last year that they suggested we offer it again this year. So what it means is if a police officer is out patrolling Hefner or Crystal Lake or the river for that matter on any of these specific days and the people don't have a fishing permit from the city, they will not get a ticket. It gives them the waiver for that particular day.
Yeah, they still need the state license to fish.
Correct. They need a state license, but and the state does support one free day a year. That's in June, and ours coexists with that one's. But the Game and Fish thought it was a way to give back to the fishermen and get them educated about needing the permit.
Doug, do you publicize that on our website? And
Yes, ma'am.
okay.
We'll put out a press release probably in December announcing the dates, and then we do a concerted effort in the spring, again, to try to get people to go purchase their city permits, so we have the revenues to continue supporting our urban fisheries program and keeping our close-to-home waters stocked.
Great, thank you.
I need a motion on that resolution. Cast your vote. It passes unanimously. Item 6 is the claims docket. Cast your vote. It passes unanimously. Item 7 is additional items. A is to receive the Parks and Recreation Director's report.
Again, Doug Cupper, Director of Parks and Recreation. We're trying to create an element that had previously been presented by your former Development Director, Pat Downs. We're going to try to fill that gap. David and I will be creating this report to try to keep you abreast. And obviously, if we get any offers for land leases or new enterprises that might come to lands leased by Okra, then we will bring those presentations forward to you in these reports. But this is just kind of the history of what has transpired over the last few weeks since your last meeting, and I'd be happy to answer any questions. Otherwise, we'd recommend you accept the report.
Any questions of Doug?
Move the item.
Cast your vote. Passes unanimously. Any comments by trustees? Any citizens wishing to be heard? We are adjourned.